Ever get that feeling that practicing English means you have to be sitting at a desk, with textbooks and flashcards?
Oh, absolutely. That's such a common idea. But, well, what if the best practice actually happens everywhere else?
Exactly. And that's what we're diving into today. We've looked at some really practical advice, basically distilled from a great English learning podcast source.
Yeah, and the main takeaway seems pretty clear. Improving your English isn't really about finding that perfect, quiet study hour. It's much more about, well, just living your life.
Right. So our mission for you today really is to figure out how you can weave English practice into your normal day, like seamlessly, no matter your current level or, how confident you're feeling right now.
Okay, so let's dig into that. Why is this anytime, anywhere idea so important?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, how we can box ourselves in by waiting for the perfect time. That ideal slot that, let's be honest, rarely shows up.
It really doesn't. Life just isn't like that. It's dynamic. And actually, it's often those small, consistent bits of effort that add up to the biggest improvements,
Totally. Think about, learning guitar or something. You don't get good just by going to the lesson once a week.
No way.
It's the noodling around every day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just picking it up for 5 minutes. Same with cooking, maybe.
Yeah.
You get better by actually doing it regularly.
Exactly, not just reading recipes. And for English, those little interactions, maybe just saying hello to a neighbor or asking a quick question in a shop, they do something crucial. They build that real-world confidence, something textbooks just can't replicate. There's this, psychological win every time you manage to communicate, even something tiny.
Oh, I know that feeling. When I was learning Spanish, I used to just freeze up. So worried about getting the verbs wrong.
Right, classic.
Then I just thought, okay, I'm just going to talk to taxi drivers, people in shops, anyone. And yeah, did I mess up? Constantly.
But that's the key, isn't it? Being willing to make those mistakes. Because every single time you try, even if it's clumsy, you're actually doing communication, it makes the language feel less academic.
Yeah, less like a school subject and more like a tool.
Exactly. You start picking up the rhythm, the natural flow, things you often miss in formal lessons.
So the goal isn't really about achieving perfect fluency tomorrow. It's more about making English a normal part of your day-to-day. Comfortable, not some big, scary task on your to-do list.
And, when you think about it, these real interactions expose you to living language, the slang, the idioms, the way people actually talk, not just the textbook examples.
Like hearing someone say, catch you later, instead of just goodbye.
Precisely. That stuff is gold. So if you're listening and thinking, oh, but my English isn't good enough yet.
Yeah, that's a big one.
We get it. But the sources we looked at really emphasize this. You don't wait to be perfect. Starting is the progress. Every single attempt counts. It's like deliberate practice, but in really small chunks.
So it's about changing how you see those moments, not as tests, but as opportunities. Mini adventures, maybe.
Mini adventures, I like that. Yeah, reframing it, celebrating that little win when you order coffee successfully or chat briefly with someone.
Okay, so the why makes a lot of sense. Practicing anytime, anywhere is crucial. But let's be real, it can feel scary, right?
Oh, definitely. That fear factor is huge. Fear of mistakes, fear of sounding silly, fear of just freezing.
Yeah, totally blanking.
It's so common. And it helps to remember, I think, that even native speakers mess up. We forget words, we stumble, we say awkward things sometimes. It's just human communication.
That's true. So it's not a sign you're failing at English.
Not at all. In fact, the advice we saw suggests reframing it completely. See those mistakes as proof you're learning. You're pushing yourself. It's feedback.
Okay, feedback, not failure. I like that. So practically, how do you start overcoming that fear?
Well, the big tip is start small.
Sure.
Really small, low stakes. Don't aim for a deep philosophical debate right away.
Right. Like maybe just saying hi or good morning in English, even if it feels a bit forced at first.
Exactly that. Or ordering your coffee in English, like you said, even if the barista speaks your language perfectly well. Or asking a simple question in a shop. Where can I find? Tiny steps.
And they build on each other, presumably.
They do. Another really good strategy is a bit of preparation. If you know you're going into a situation like a restaurant, just mentally rehearse one or two basic phrases. Could I have the menu? I'd like the chicken, please. Just having those ready can really lower the anxiety.
It's like having a couple of tools ready in your pocket. Takes the pressure off having to invent something on the spot.
Precisely. And the more you use those basics, the more automatic they become, which frees up your brain for trickier stuff later.
And it's worth remembering, people are usually nice, right? They're not generally waiting to pounce on your grammar mistakes.
Absolutely not. Most people are focused on the interaction itself, and they usually appreciate the effort someone's making to speak their language, or just a shared language like English. They're often really supportive.
I remember reading that funny story in one source about someone asking for a cup of cow instead of coffee.
Haha, yes. And apparently everyone just chuckled and they got their coffee. Sometimes those little blips can actually, break the ice, create a connection.
Yeah, makes it more human.
It does. Language is about connecting, fundamentally. A bit of imperfection is fine. So yeah, be brave, start small, maybe laugh at yourself occasionally. It helps.
Okay. Feeling a bit braver now, hopefully.
Yeah.
So let's get super practical. Where are these anytime, anywhere opportunities hiding?
They're genuinely all around us, often in plain sight. Let's start with work or school. If you have colleagues or classmates from different backgrounds.
That's a built-in opportunity right there.
Totally. And it doesn't have to be huge formal discussions, just simple small talk. How was your weekend? Did you see that email? Casual stuff. It's brilliant for practicing natural conversation flow.
Even if you feel a bit shy, just showing that interest usually goes down well.
Definitely. Then think about cafes, restaurants. We keep coming back to them because they're great low-pressure zones.
Or ordering food or a drink.
Yeah.
Simple transaction. Even if English isn't the main language, often the staff know the basics, right?
Often, yes. It's a pretty safe space to try out those prepared phrases we mentioned. Just think of 2 sentences before you go in.
Okay. What about tourists? If you live somewhere, tourists visit.
Excellent point. Offering simple help, asking, are you enjoying your visit? Tourists are often happy to chat, and it's good practice.
I've had that happen when traveling. Locals practicing their English on me. It's always felt positive,
It usually is. And then, of course, there's the whole online world. Huge potential there.
Like language exchange apps, Tandem, Hello Talk.
Exactly. You can connect with people globally. Text chat, voice notes, video calls, whatever you're comfortable with.
And if talking one-on-one feels like too much pressure initially,
there are loads of social media groups, forums, online communities for English learners. You can just join discussions, ask questions, connect more indirectly.
What about just talking to yourself? Does that count?
It absolutely counts. Describing your actions out loud at home. Okay, now I'm chopping the onions. I need to find my keys. It sounds a bit odd, maybe, but it gets your brain working in English without any audience pressure.
I can see that. And travel, obviously. Airports, train stations, hotels.
Prime locations, asking for directions, checking in, ordering tickets, lots of functional language practice. Where's platform 3? Can I get a city map?
Public events, too. Conferences, maybe workshops.
Yeah, if they're international or conducted in English, even just listening actively is good practice. Asking one simple question is a win.
And tech. Using Siri or Alexa or Google Assistant in English.
Great shout. Ask it questions, set timers, check the weather. It's zero pressure, gets you used to hearing and forming basic commands and questions.
Wow, okay, so they really are everywhere. It's about spotting them.
It really is. It's about that slight shift in mindset. Seeing your daily life as the learning environment needs a bit of intention, maybe a tiny step outside the comfort zone, but yeah.
The world is your classroom, basically.
Okay.
Okay, so we know where now. How do we make it stick? How does this become a real habit, not just something we try once?
Consistency. That's the magic word, really. It's about weaving it into what you already do, making it natural, not another chore.
Like that tip about changing your phone language. That seemed clever.
It's surprisingly powerful. Feels weird for a day or two, maybe, but then bam, English is just there. On your apps, your notifications, constant little hits of exposure. Very passive, but very effective.
Okay, I might try that. And what about language apps like Duolingo or Babbel?
They can be great, but the key is short bursts. Not trying to do an hour every day, maybe a 5-minute quiz on the bus. Listen to a couple of phrases while waiting for the kettle to boil. Those little bits add up because of, spaced repetition and things like that.
Little and often. Maybe set phone reminders. Quick English practice now.
That can totally work. Simple prompts. And then there's entertainment. Movies, TV shows.
Watch in English. With subtitles first, maybe.
Yeah, start with subtitles in English or even your own language if needed. Then maybe try without. It really tunes your ear to natural speech, rhythm, intonation.
And repeating lines out loud. Does that help?
Hugely. It feels silly sometimes, but mimicking actors helps with pronunciation, flow, getting the feel of the language in your mouth.
Okay. What about, internal practice?
Thinking in English. Try narrating your day silently in your head. Right, I'm walking to the shop now. I need to buy milk and bread. It forces your brain to skip the translation step.
That sounds challenging but useful. Finding a practice buddy.
Also great. For accountability and just casual chat practice, doesn't have to be super formal. Just messaging a friend in English now and then.
And social media. Following English learning accounts or joining groups.
Definitely. Low-pressure ways to see real English used, pick up slang, join conversations when you feel ready. It keeps it relevant and hopefully fun.
That seems key, making it enjoyable, not a drag.
Absolutely. If it feels like homework all the time, you won't stick with it. Find stuff you genuinely like doing and do it in English. Read about your hobbies, watch funny clips, whatever works for you.
So it becomes part of your lifestyle, not separate from it.
Exactly that. Seamless integration.
Right. We've got the why, the where, the how. But sometimes just getting started is the hardest part. Can we give people some really concrete, tiny challenges, things they could try, like today?
Yes, great idea. Actionable steps. Okay, challenge number 1. Speak to someone, anyone, in English. Colleague, friend, shop assistant. Just get some words out loud. That's the only goal.
Okay, simple but maybe scary. Another one. Order food or drink in English next time you're out.
Yeah.
Just that one transaction. Can I get a flat white, please? Done.
Perfect. Here's one. Record yourself speaking for just 1 minute. Pick a simple topic, your favorite food, what you did yesterday. Then listen back. Don't judge harshly, just notice. It's amazing for self-awareness and tracking progress later.
Ooh, the recording thing. Brave, but probably very effective. Okay, how about this? Think only in English for, say, 10 minutes straight while you're doing dishes or walking. Set a timer, see what happens in your head.
Love it. And writing. Write one short message in English today. A text, an email reply, a social media comment, just a sentence or two. Get those writing muscles working a little.
Good one. Listening challenge. Watch a short English video, maybe a news clip or a YouTube short with no subtitles. Just aim to get the main idea. Don't sweat the details.
Nice. Or find an online English event, webinar, live stream, virtual meetup on a topic you like. Just attend, maybe only listen. Get used to hearing different voices and accents in real time.
Okay.
Last one. Learn one new word or phrase today. Just one. And then consciously try to use it. In your head, talking to yourself, or if the chance comes up, out loud. Like learn, I've been meaning to. And look for a chance to say, oh, I've been meaning to watch that show.
These are great. They all feel doable. It's about building that momentum, isn't it?
Yeah.
That feeling of, okay, I can do this.
Exactly. Each small success chips away at the fear and builds confidence. Every little bit counts.
Okay, so we know how to practice.
Yeah,
Are there any common mistakes people make? Things to maybe watch out for?
definitely. We've touched on the biggest one already. That fear of making mistakes, letting it stop you from trying. It's so crucial to remember errors are good. They're learning fuel.
Right, got it. What else?
Trying to speak too fast. Sometimes learners think speed equals fluency, but actually clarity is way more important, especially at first. Slow down, breathe, articulate.
Good advice. Don't rush.
Yeah. And overthinking grammar while you're speaking, you get tangled up trying to get every tense perfect. Focus on getting your message across first, polish the grammar later.
So communication first, perfection second.
Pretty much. Also, being afraid to use simple sentences, thinking you need complex structures to sound good. Nope. Clear, simple sentences are often the most effective way to communicate. Don't be shy about using them.
Makes sense?
Anything else?
Maybe not listening enough. Really actively listening to how native or proficient speakers talk, their rhythm, their word choices, their intonation. Observation is a huge part of learning to speak naturally.
So to sum up those pitfalls, don't fear mistakes, don't rush, focus on communication over complex grammar, initially anyway. Embrace simple sentences and listen actively.
That's a great summary. Prioritize getting your meaning across clearly. Mistakes are fine. It'll become more natural over time.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. That idea we started with, needing a desk and books to practice English. Hopefully, we've shown that's just not the whole picture.
Not at all. The real progress often happens out there in your everyday life, anytime, anywhere. If you start looking for those moments, it really boils down to taking those small steps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Being consistent, trying those little challenges we talked about.
Yeah, and not getting discouraged if it feels tough at first. Just keep at it. Keep showing up for those mini practices.
Because learning English, well, it's a journey, right? Not some sprint to a finish line. And doing this stuff, you're definitely heading in the right direction.
Absolutely. So really, we hope you'll try some of those small challenges, step just a little outside that comfort zone, and, try to have some fun with it. What if you started thinking of every single English interaction, no matter how small, as just a little experiment, a chance to see what happens? What might you discover then?
That's a fantastic thought to end on. Thanks so much for this deep dive today. And to everyone listening, remember, every little bit of practice really does count. We'll catch you next time.